Hello there. Welcome to a Paladin's Guide to Protection Warriors. My name is Falcon, and today we're going to take a look at this and much, much more. So, Protection Warriors have always been the valiant knights of the tanking world. They were the first class back in vanilla that was able to actually tank raids, while the rest of us were kind of a little, shafted. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's go ahead and move on, though, and not focus on the past. Our level 15 ability that we're going to pick up is Warbringer. This allows your charge to stun your target for up to 3 seconds. The level 30 talent, which is going to be a healing type. And for leveling, I find that Impending Victory is the best choice. It is on a 30-second cooldown and costs 10 rage. And if you kill the target you're going after, it resets the cooldown of Impending Victory. In our level 45 ability, which is a minor CC, I would call it, we're going to pick up Disrupting Shout, which silences the target for a few seconds, and it's just overall quite nice to have against casters while leveling, and even in PvP situations, because you might enjoy that. Then, looking at the level 60 ability, we're going to be picking up Dragon's Roar. Dragon's Roar is not very common, probably going to be for tanks. I would assume that either Shockwave would be more useful, or people would find it more useful. But I like the Dragon's Roar does a knockback for 3 seconds, and it's on a minute cooldown. It's the only downfall of it. But it also always critically strikes, so it's quite nifty. And last, because soloing doesn't allow for much actual use of any of the other level 75 abilities, we pick up Mass Spell Reflect, which allows you to spell reflect anything that comes at you, just about. It works just like your spell reflect for your shield, except this one doesn't require you to have a shield, even though you're prot and you should, and it doesn't also stack with the same cooldowns, so therefore you can use it and the other one for extra goodiness. So yeah, let's go on to our glyphs. Glyphs. There are many choices of glyphs that you can pick up, most of which aren't actually spec specific. However, there quite a few are. So first, let's take a look at Glyph of Heavy Repercussions. This glyph allows your shield slam to do an additional 50% damage while your shield block is active. We will get more into talking about shield block in a minute, but I just want to say that you want to keep it up as much as possible, and this ability is one of the very good reasons. Next is Glyph of Hold the Line. This improves the damage of your next revenge by 50% following a successful parry. While I don't know if Blizzard has this implemented, because I forgot to check, to show you when you get this buff, I will say that I'm pretty sure there will be a mod for it very quickly if they don't. Because it's a pretty damn good glyph. So our last glyph that we're going to pick up is Glyph of Resonating Power. This increases the damage and the cooldown of your Thunderclap by 30%. Is it 30? I guess it is 30. So basically, this increases your Thunderclap's cooldown to 9 seconds as compared to the current, or should I say the standard 6 seconds that you would have without it. And also increases the damage. Now I feel that you're pretty not cooldown dependent per se, but you have plenty of things to be hitting. So increasing the cooldown on that's not necessarily going to hurt you very much. And if anything, it'll allow you to be more flexible. So minor glyphs are kind of unimportant, as usual. But the ones that we did pick up are Thunder Strike, Gushing Wound, or not Gushing Wounds, excuse me, Bloody Healing, and Burning Anger. Again, nothing important. But yeah, let's move right along. So let's look at some spellbook abilities. Moving it into the proper tab is always a good thing. And let's start at start at the very end with the passive abilities. So first up is Vengeance. Each time you take damage, you will gain 5% of that damage taken as attack power. It can go up to a maximum of 10% of your total health. I have, what is that, 140k life, 130k life, whatever. And so basically I get 14k extra attack power. Pretty damn nifty for soloing. Of course, this does not work on players in PvP unless they've changed it, so it's a little saddening to say the least. Moving right along, we have Unwavering Sentry, which increases your stamina by 15% and increases the armor value of items by 10%. We have Ultimatum, which causes your Shield Slam to have a 30% chance to make your next Heroic Strike or Cleave cost no rage. Pretty damn nice. It means you want to be Shield Slamming as much as humanly possible. Sword and Board, your Devastate has a 30% chance to 30% chance of resetting the cooldown of your Shield Slam and increasing rage regeneration. Blade Specialization, of course, is standard 5% extra stamina. Parry is parry is parry. Your Mastery is Critical Block. Increases the chance to block by the amount of mastery that you have, and also the chance for you to critically block, which is, I believe, a double block. So if you have 10k, it will block 20k. Enrage has been slightly altered, and I don't hover over it long enough to tell you about it, but it has been altered to only work with certain abilities. Blood and Thunder allows your Thunderclap to apply deep wounds. This is similar to how you used to apply Rend and then Thunderclap to spread it, but now they've moved Rend to make it easier. Yes, Blizzard's nerfing the game. Cry about it. Passionate Defense. Not only does it increase your block chance by 10%, it also reduces the cooldown of your... Okay. Don't hover over long enough. Reduces the cooldown of your shield wall, is what it does. So, next let's talk about me sitting here. There we go. Commanding Shout is not what you want to be putting up. You're most likely going to want Battle Shout, as Commanding Shout isn't exactly needed in most cases. Your charge ability is usable while in combat, and it generates a total of 20 rage. Nifty nifty, and you of course talented for it to change it. You can also glyph for it and alter it more. So you can actually make yourself have one crazy glyphed charged thing. So next, Defensive Stance. This is your tanking stance, of course, and it decreases damage taken by 15%, reduces the chance that you will be critically hit by 6%, and increases your threat generation by, 300% unless they've altered it. However, it still does not make you the best threat-wise thing in the game, because apparently Demonology Warlocks have 500%, so yeah. Not important though, not important. Let's move on. Demoralizing Shout is a protection-only ability that demoralizes the enemy causing, within 10 yards, causing them to do 20% less damage to you. And I'm sure it works on all party members as well. Now, if you don't put this up, or can't put this up because it's on cooldown, you always have Thunderclap, which does a baseline of 10%. So it's not quite as good, but it does give you something, and that's on, of course, a 9-second cooldown because we glyphed for it to be so. So let's move on. Obviously, you have your Disarm ability, which everyone has. Disarms the target. You're going to want to use this on most melee type. Deadly Calm is an ability that all people have. It used to be only for arms, however it's now for all specs, and it can be quite good for quick threat generation. Goes along with Cleave, which is as it used to be. Moving right along. We look at these, and then we have Execute. Execute's an ability you should make sure is on your bar. It usually, if it crits, will take out anything, unlike some other characters' Executes, which aren't quite as good. Paladins. Last Stand. increases your current maximum health and your maximum health by 30% for current and maximum, for 30 seconds or 20 seconds. You still have intervene, and you can glyph or you can talent for this and change it so that it does something else, but we didn't do it, so what's the point of even telling you about it? Let's move right along. Shield Wall reduces the damage taken by 40%. Again, you can glyph for this and increase the amount it does it for, but it increases the cooldown as well. I just want to note that trying to do this afterwards because my audio screwed up is quite annoying. Oh, there we go. Shield Block. So I was just talking about this a minute ago, about how it's changed. It now holds 2 charges and blocks all attacks that come at you, and it can critically block. And it's on a 1.5 second cooldown, but costs 60 rage. As you can see right here, it has 2 charges. And so you can alternate between them to keep it up and be able to Shield Slam much, much harder. Shield Slam also, because I don't remember if I cover it. Yes, I do. Never mind. I do cover it, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. Shield Barrier is a new move that you get as protection that costs 30 rage and absorbs X amount of damage, but it can consume up to 60 rage and increase the amount absorbed by even more. And the absorption amount is based on your attack power. So if you're taking heavy amounts of damage and your vengeance is stacked, your shield barrier will cause you to not take as much damage. Works for me, I guess. Moving right along, you have your Rallying Cry, of course, which is a AoE ability that all benefit from. You still have your Spell Reflect, and you should make sure you're using this on casting mobs. But I probably shouldn't have to tell you that. And just to check, no, I think I check. I thought I checked. I don't know. So, did I not talk about Shield Slam, really? Or put Shield Slam up? Nope. Okay. Well, Thunderclap blasts all enemies within an 8-yard radius, then gives them weakening blows and does X amount of damage. So, Shield Block is no longer on a rage cost, and it actually generates rage. Since I decided not to show it off. And I also didn't show off Devastate, which is odd enough as is. And I'm actually out of video footage here, so I'm just going to talk real quick and throw something up here, because I fail. So your Shield Slam doesn't cost any rage, and it generates rage, and is your baseline ability to do so, besides Revenge, which generates 15. Your Devastate works just as it does on live, spreading Sunder Armor debuff. And that's it. We're done. Sorry for screwing this up. I was really trying to put a lot of effort into this video, but it seems that I failed. So next I think we're going to talk about my answer to the question at the beginning of the video, and then we're done. Yeah.